Louis, after a week of hefty travelling last week with the Tuesday, Saturday, obviously still Tuesday, Saturday this week, so still a load for you to get through, but I imagine it's more of a positive that you're at home for both of those games this week and don't have to be kind of sitting on the bus for 5-6 hours in one day just to get down to games.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be good to be back at home, like you say, just that less travel before a game, you know what I mean, that kind of extra load that sometimes goes into the preparation and then the recovery time on long trips on the way back from games. So we've had a good rest over the weekend and got some good detail of the boys, and like I say, looking forward to playing in front of our fans at home tomorrow night.
Yeah, and you touch on tomorrow night, of course, Solihull making the trip to come up to Tyneside, but I mean, in terms of the league table and the sort of overall picture, everyone will be kind of looking from a neutral perspective. Obviously, fourth playing fifth is a sort of potential, playoff game with both teams kind of chasing it at this stage of the season. But how are you looking ahead to that? Of course, got a good result down at their place a few months ago as well.
Yeah, we're approaching like any other game. We respect Solihull. Obviously, they're ultimately one place above us in the league. They've had a very good season up to now, full of quality and depth. Right across the board, but when it comes to the preparation for the game, we'll just attack it like any other game. We'll have a game plan. We know where we want to try and exploit, specifically with our opponents and how we've analysed and how we think we can hurt them, and what we need to do to nullify their main threats. So, the boys are ready, and ultimately our arousal will be no more or less than any other game, and we're just ready to tackle it head on.
Yeah, and in terms of the sort of the boys themselves and how they're faring at the minute, how they've kind of been coping with all those kind of Tuesday, Saturday games. I know it's obviously nature of the beast, but it's probably a more unusual one compared to start the season when you've got Saturday, you've got a bit more rest in between. So how are they sort of faring fitness-wise with all that, the games they've been getting in their legs recently? The
group's been tremendous, to be honest with you. Very professional in terms of the recovery, making sure they're doing all the right things, whether that's getting extra recovery or assistance from Fraser and the physio team, or whether it's looking to top up minutes if they haven't got the game time that they've needed or wanted, and coming and doing extra sessions. Everyone's been absolutely spot on, and everyone's tackling it in the right way. Like I say, we've got high standards and professional levels that we want to hit and maintain, and the boys have been doing that regardless if they're playing and recovering or if they're in match day squads and not getting 60 plus minutes, and want to make sure that they're ready for the next time they're called upon. We've got through the weekend. It's been great to have bodies back on Saturday, and that we've had more bodies in training today, closer to a return to the squad. So it's looking very, very healthy at this moment in time. There's a lot of strength and depth, and it's what we're going to need for this run-in, because like you say, it's not like the beginning of the season with Saturday. It's Saturday, Tuesday, and especially the last week that we've had two trips down to London in 1 week. It takes its toll sometimes on the group, and we've got to make sure that we can freshen up whenever possible at the right times to continue our momentum and to put the performances in that we like, because ultimately we demand so much of the boys in and out of possession.
Yeah, and you mentioned strength and depth in terms of the whole squad at the minute, but how's the kind of goalkeeping situation looking at the minute? Of course, Harrison had a bit of a problem with his hamstring. Eddie's been out with illness recently, so of course Monty's come in and been playing the last few games, but how are sort of Eddie and Harrison looking at the minute in terms of their sort of road to getting back to fitness? Yeah,
Harrison was back in training fully today, so that's real good to have him part of the group. Harrison's performances when he came in into the team were tremendous, to be honest with you, in terms of how he played under pressure when we wanted him to for such a young goalkeeper, made some fine saves, and his attitude was brilliant in that period in terms of he wanted more feedback to get better. Eddie is a bit closer. He visited the boys on Tuesday when we were down at Woking, because that's kind of near where he's based, and he's obviously being assessed by Chelsea, but he's closer to his recovery. We're hoping that he can be back in with the group in the next couple of weeks, and we want that goalkeeping department to be as strong as possible, to provide competition in there, healthy competition, but also just a nod to Monty as well in terms of his performance on Saturday. There were some real key moments where I thought he really stood up to the challenge in the first half. He come and collected a few crosses, made some real good saves at pivotal points, and in the second half they decided to try and press high and try to change the momentum, and he played through the pressure, into the pressure as we asked him to, and his distribution and decision making over shorter and longer lines was tremendous. So yeah, across that goalkeeping department, really strong, and they're all looking really well.
Yeah, and in terms of a few sort of others who've been missing in recent weeks, obviously Greg and Tom are getting closer as the weeks go by. I think speaking to Greg, he was hoping maybe for the Ebbsfleet game, but Tom been getting a little bit closer as well. Obviously been doing a bit of running alongside Kent and Greg in recent weeks. So how are the pair of them faring? Obviously Joe was down at Bournemouth on Saturday, but not involved in the squad, given that he pulled up on Tuesday as well.
Yeah, Greg getting much closer, and it's really exciting, to be honest with you. I think we all know what quality Greg has got, and also the captain and our kind of our main leader out on the pitch, and everyone feels that a little bit more, should we say, secure and a lot more confident when Greg's in around that, because just the special human being, the special player that he is. Tommy trained fully today, and I'm delighted to see what I've seen, to be honest with you. I think people were buzzing off the energy that he brings and the quality that he's got, and to see him with a smile on his face again today was equally as pleasing as Greg. Kent and Boots came back in on Saturday, and they were both as if they had never been away, to be honest with you, and that's just testament to the both. They were so keen to be back involved and do their bit for the team. You know, Kenton playing the full 90 as well, and especially in the last 15-20 minutes we were aware of obviously potentially the toll taking its time on Kent in terms of his full first 90, but he played in that position and kind of dealt with his 1v1s even to the final whistle, and won that crucial header that set up the goal. In terms of the leap, and the header was tremendous. Boots was just his quality self as usual, and then obviously we had Tinks back in the group as well, and although he didn't get game time, Tinks contributed to the group in terms of, you know, his leadership skills, how he is around the boys. Obviously, when Tinks trains, you know, the quality goes up because he's a quality player, and you know, his personality is infectious as well, and he kept everyone, you know, smiling and excited for the game, and was really helpful in terms of before the game to make sure the boys were focused and get them prepared for the game.